What is up, sports geeks? It's your host Josh here, back with another episode, joined by Alec yet again. Alec, how are you, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm feeling hot today. I got some burning hot takes for you today. I'm hoping you have the same. So we prepared we each have three or four. We each have three hot takes, right? I have no idea what any of yours are. I have a fourth that's with the Lions, and I think you have a fourth with the Bengals,
Mhm.
which is perfect. We each kind of have that home team bias, but then we also have three other ones as well. We'll go ahead. I want to hear your Bengals one right off the bat. So let's hear your Bengals one. We'll keep the Bengals Lions one's brief, and then we'll hop into it.
Yeah. So my Bengals one, it's not that hot of a take, especially if you look at the betting market. But I think Joe Burrow's primed for an MVP season.
Okay, I had a
I
feeling
really,
that's what it was.
I really think Joe Burrow can win MVP this year. And it's not even really me really being a homer. He's has the third best odds, I think.
Okay.
I just think that this is one of the first years that he's actually had a full off season. He didn't get
Mhm.
hurt during training camp. Jamar Chase is going to have 2 full weeks of actually practicing before week 1. He started practicing yesterday. So I really like the Burrow odds at MVP. Realistically, they'd have to win 12, 13 games. He'd probably have to throw for 4,500 yards.
Yeah.
Definitely definitely, within possibility.
Yeah. The other thing too is that they don't have a rushing attack,
Mhm.
so he's going to be slinging the ball, and he's very efficient. So I don't mind that at all. My Lions one is that this guy right here, Aiden Hutchinson, is going to at least be competing for Depoy. If I want to get burning hot, I would say that he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. I think he's going 15 plus sacks this year. I think he has to if he wants to be in the Defensive Player of the Year running. But the reasoning behind that, bringing DJ Reader, Ali McNeil is going to be healthy. You actually have guys to attract attention outside of Hutchinson, which means he can actually get in 1v1s. And last year when he was isolated, he was great. His pass rush win rate is great in a single coverage, but he was getting, just double teamed every single time. I think he's got a real shot at it this year. But we'll head over to you for your first official non-Bengals hot take here.
Okay, sweet. So I think the Falcons win at least 12 games this year.
Okay. I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so that's my first one. I thought about this for a long time at work today. I'm not going to lie, probably too long. Yeah, so I think Falcons win 11, 12 games this year. Their offense is going to be electric. I think Kirk Cousins is going to perform well off the Achilles. History says that non-mobile quarterbacks off of ACL or Achilles performs about 85 to 95% of what they were. So yeah, I really think the Falcons, could win 11, 12, 13, even 13 games this year. So
I want to run through it here just while we have it here. So Steelers, I'm Steelers win or loss.
I'm gonna go. It's at home, so I'm gonna go win.
Okay. Eagles on the road.
Loss.
At home against the Chiefs.
Call me crazy. This is early in the year. I think this is a 50-50.
Okay, I don't mind that. Home against the Saints.
Win.
Home against the Bucks.
Win.
At the Panthers.
Win.
1 second. I'm counting. Okay. Home against the Seahawks.
Win.
At the Bucks.
Loss.
Home against the Cowboys.
Loss.
Okay. At the Saints.
So what are we at? Are we at 3 losses?
Yeah, we're at 5 wins right now. I haven't been.
So we're at 5 wins. So I'm gonna go.
I think they sweep the Saints.
Okay. All right. We'll go win.
6 wins. At the Broncos.
Win.
Home against the Chargers.
I'm gonna say win.
I don't mind that at all. At the Vikings.
Loss.
Home against the Raiders or at the Raiders.
I think they went out.
Yes, 2. That's 12 wins right there. What we just went through.
I mean, think about this. If you go up, anyway, they play the Cowboys at home. They play the Chiefs at home.
Yeah, those are their only really 2 difficult games out of division.
And the Eagles, but they play the Eagles. Think about it. The Cowboys and the Chiefs are probably the 2 best opponents, and they play them at home. So
yep. Yeah, no, I love that. I have I'm going to stay NFC East NFC South here because I have one with the NFC South too. Not with the Falcons, but I do think the Falcons play a role in it. I think Dennis Allen is fired before week 7. And I think he's going to be the first head coach fired. And if the reasoning is last year, they had by far the easiest schedule in the league in last year. by far, and they went 9-8, and they didn't beat a single good team. The best team that they beat the Bears, who were okay. They thrashed the Falcons in the final week of the year when the Saints still had a chance to make the playoffs. I don't think the Falcons did. I'm pretty sure Bijan was already shut down, and we all know Arthur Smith was terrible. But you look at the start to their year this year. You play home against the Panthers in week 1. You have to win that game. Have to. And then you go at the Cowboys, loss. Home against the Eagles, loss. At the Falcons, loss. At the Chiefs, loss. I feel confident all 4 of those are locks to be losses. You're now 1-4. You play home against the Bucs. I think this is the make it or break it game. Is if you go lose and you're 1-5 now, you just lost at home against the Bucs. I think Allen's gone. So, and that's assuming you beat the Panthers, right? The Panthers aren't good, but this Saints offense, I mean, Kamara's getting old. He's still good, but he's getting older. Derek Carr is bad. There's no way around that. He's bad. Olave's a stud, but Rashid Shaheed's your wide receiver 2. You really don't have a tight end. You have that weird, I mean, Taysom Hill plays that weird kind of just flex player plays all positions, but outside of fantasy purposes and that he's kind of productive sometimes for getting rushing touchdowns. I don't know how I don't think he's a good tight end if he's just going out and running routes. So I just don't think that the Saints team is going to perform great. They were not great last year with the easiest schedule in the league. I think you have a difficult schedule, especially the first 6 weeks. It could be tough for them.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that take. I can definitely see that.
Over to you for your second one here. I'm curious to hear. So
Yeah.
you went in the NFC South first one. Where are you at now?
I'm in the NFC North now.
Okay.
I think Sam Darnold breaks 4,000 yards and 25 touchdowns.
I don't mind this at all because I'm assuming it's the weapons around him help a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, think about this here. So we got, Jay Jettis, obviously.
Yep.
Jordan Addison, he hurt his ankle, but I think he's going to be fine.
Yeah, I think he's playing week 1.
And then I think Hawkinson, he'll be back. Like he might start the year on the IR. So, I mean, say week 4, week 5, he's like fully back. My thing last year was their quarterback play really wasn't that bad, even after Kirk Cousins got hurt. And Kirk Cousins was balling. I mean, Kirk Cousins was throwing for over 300 a game.
Yep.
And I'm not saying Sam Darnold's anywhere close to Kirk Cousins, in my opinion.
Right.
But in order to get 4,000 yards, it's like, I don't know, like 250 something a game. I think Sam Darnold could get that.
Well, the other thing, too, is that Jefferson could single-handedly give you 1,800. I wouldn't he is so good. And he was injured last year, but I don't know if you saw him come out and saying in an interview, they said, you were injured last year. How are you making sure that the hamstring's not going to be an issue this year? And he said, I have never prepared my body physically more for a season than what I have for the, I'm not going to miss games this year. He's on a mission to be healthy. And when he's healthy, he's the best receiver in the league, and it's not even close.
I agree.
So when I think you could put me at quarterback and I might throw for 2,000 with him there. Probably not that, but I'd throw for 1,000 just throwing screen passes to him.
Yep.
But no, I love that Sam Darnold take. I just hope that I know 300 of them will probably come at Detroit in week 18. Yeah. But I don't mind that at all. So how many games do you think that the Vikings win, or do you see them as a successful team early or no?
Yeah, it's tough because I think that if we could pull up their schedule, just to make it a little bit easier. Also,
give me 2 seconds.
Confirmed. Actually, my math was off. In order for Sam Darnold to throw for 4K, if he plays in all 17 games, he only needs 235 yards a game.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
When you break it down like that, it's pretty.
I mean, Jefferson's going to give you 100. That means you need to throw for 130.
Yeah.
Elsewhere. Yeah. All right, I'm pulling it up right here.
All right, so early in the year, I mean, you get Niners at home. Giants are going to be it's kind of sucks to play the Giants that early because they actually have hope.
This first 6 weeks is tough because you go Niners, Texans, Packers, Jets, Lions, and then Rams.
Yeah, but I think the thing is, though, Giants had a bad pass defense last year. Texans had a bad pass defense last year. Yep. Colts had a bad pass defense. Jags, Cardinals, and Titans all did.
Yep.
So
yeah, that's true. I mean, I
and
think,
say like the Lions have an injury to corner. I
yeah,
mean, that could be a shootout. So
yeah, it definitely could be. I mean, defensively too, Brian Flores loves to blitz, like loves to blitz.
Mhm.
So if you face a quarterback at all that struggles to handle the blitz, it's nearly like game. It'll cost you the game,
yeah,
nearly. So I don't mind that one at all. I'm gonna head over to this is my second one, and I know you're gonna love this one.
Mhm.
It's Brees Hall to win Offensive Player of the Year.
I love this
Um,
one.
yeah, I know you are might be the biggest Brees Hall advocate I know. But I genuinely think that this is just setting up perfectly for Brees Hall to just blow up this year. He's plus 1,800 on FanDuel to win it, and I'm not by no means is this betting advice to go bet him, but I'm given the value. I mean, he's the ninth best, ninth highest odds to win it. I think he's a top 3 or 4 player to win this because you look at last year. CMC won it last year, right, with about 2,000 all-purpose yards and a ton of touch. I think 21 total touchdowns between receiving and rushing. And Brees Hall had like 1,600 all-purpose yards and like 10 total touchdowns with Zach Wilson as his quarterback the entire year.
Yeah.
Like, and Zach Wilson was like, I mean, their quarterback play last year was horrendous, and he still had 1,600 all-purpose yards. Your offensive line also was bad last year. An improved offensive line, right? And now you actually have like a quarterback to attract attention, like, and not have them put 7, 8 guys in the box. I think I could comfortably see Brees Hall running for 1,500 plus this year. I mean, I could see him leading the NFL in rushing yards. I could see him putting up 12 rushing touchdowns,
Yep.
Breaking 2,000 all-purpose yards. I could see him doing all of it.
Yep. To go off this, I was looking at the over-unders today. For fantasy, what I like to know, this isn't per se fantasy.
Yeah.
But I like to kind of, if you're kind of iffy on a guy, what does Vegas think about him? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like see what the over-under is. Like if it's a tiebreaker, what does Vegas think?
Yeah.
Because they never lose money.
No, Vegas is rarely wrong.
Ever. So I was looking at this today. Brees Hall's over-under for rushing yards this year is only 1,050.5.
If he plays, which I mean, that's the big question remark
Yep.
around all running backs, right? If he plays 17 games, like, he shatters that.
Shatters it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't see a scenario where think of how atrocious their quarterback play was last year. Atrocious. And then obviously, players that off an ACL take like 7-8 weeks to ramp up. Last 10 weeks, he was averaging over 20 fantasy points a game. He was freaking insane.
Yeah.
With Simeon, with Zach Wilson, with Tim Boyle, with me, with you, with our list, like any listener listening, dead serious. We wouldn't be better obviously than Tim Boyle, who actually, fun fact, had more INTs in college than touchdowns.
How did he get drafted?
Honestly, I swear, if anybody listening to this, look it up. Look at his college stats. It is the most atrocious thing you've ever seen in your life. What it would pay to be 6'5", 240 would be unbelievable.
Yeah, but if you just looked at college stats, you'd think that Bailey Zappi was like the second coming of Christ.
That's true, but you'd think that Tim Boyle was dog water because it's crazy.
You'd be right.
Right. But yeah, so no, I don't mind that take, dude. I love that take. Plus 1,800 crazy odds too.
I knew I was looking through, sifting through, I had my short list of 6 or 7, and I'm like, I know this Brees Hall one, Alec is just gonna eat that up.
I love it, dude. I'm the biggest Brees Hall fan. I try to get him in every dynasty league I'm in. I think he's only 22. It's
Dude,
crazy.
Here comes the Brees Hall rant. Here comes the Brees Hall rant.
Don't get me started. I mean, we could talk about this for hours. All right. So my next one, this is kind of a hot take because let's think about this. Puka had an insane year last year.
I know where this is going.
And if Neighbors had a better quarterback, I think he could do it. He had potential to do it too. I think Marv breaks the Puka receiving yards record this year. So looking at Puka's stats last year, so I just want to get the yardage correct. I believe it's 1486. Okay. He got that at 160 targets, 105 receptions. I really think Marv has a chance to beat this.
Marv, 87 a game.
Yeah. If he stays healthy, Marv is obviously the number one target in that offense. I think Trey McBride obviously pushes him for that.
Mhm.
Their other wide receivers, Zay Jones got suspended for the first 5 games. It's literally Greg Dortch
Well, he's going to be
and Michael Wilson.
double-digit targets a game.
And Michael Wilson. Like, Michael Wilson, obviously, he had a couple good weeks last year.
Yeah.
He doesn't command targets.
No.
Trey McBride was unbelievable last year because their wideouts were so bad.
Yeah.
And that he was just getting peppered with targets. Marv is going to he's going to be like the next Jamar. He's going to be the next Justin Jefferson.
Mhm. Isn't it crazy how many times we've seen the rookie record like either flirted with or broken in the last 5 years? Like you had Jettas, Chase, and Puka 3 times in the last 5 years that you've had a rookie receiver either break the record or be within 100 yards of it.
You could also argue that more like the better athletes want to play receiver over corner, like
Yeah, that's true.
because of like the flash and how big the NFL is. But no, I definitely agree. Like the wideouts that have come out, and I think this continues.
Yeah.
I mean, think of Amon Ra, drafted in the 4th round. I mean, he's a stud. Puka, 5th round, stud. I mean, those are 2 of the top 7 receivers in the NFL. I mean, there's so many wideouts that come out every year.
Yeah.
That there's just bound to be, the next stud if 25 wideouts get drafted.
Yes, completely agree. I don't mind that at all. I thought you were going – it's not the direction I thought you were going. When you said Puka had a great year last year, I thought you were going to say Cooper Kupp's going to finish as a better fantasy receiver than Puka.
Because I am the, other than Brees, I'm the biggest Cooper Kupp fan second. So
yeah. See, I'd heard a couple people say that, and I'm like, that's burning. Like that's
burning.
Yeah, that is burnt. Like you are on the gates. You're at the gates.
The only way that would happen is if Puka re-injured his knee, and Cooper Kupp actually stays healthy. Yeah,
I think if Kupp was like healthy for the entire season, that they could just be like just 1A, 1B, and they could be back and forth. And there's a chance it happens. But I mean, Puka is going to be better. But I think Kupp when he was healthy was unreal. But at the same time, it's kind of because like there was nobody else to get targets, and Stafford would pepper him with 16 a game. Like,
I mean, we saw last year, like Kupp at the end, like when he started getting healthy, like think about this, Cooper Kupp last year, he had 1, 2, 3, 4 games over 110. And then out of the other 10 he played, only 2 over 50 yards. So it was like a boom week, or it was like you're getting 5 targets, 3 catches, 18 yards. Like, I mean, it's kind of the way it is with him now. I feel
that'd be the week that I started him right there.
That's why you gotta do those best ball ones. You just don't even think.
Yeah. All right. So my final one here, as we wrap this up, I'm staying in the AFC East, and I talked about this last week too in our AFC preview. The Bills are missing the playoffs, and they're finishing 3rd in the division. To me, this doesn't seem that hot of a take. Based off of different people's opinions and takes that I see, I do think it is. Josh Allen, 2nd best player in the NFL, 2nd best quarterback in the NFL, easily. The offense around him is not great. Offensive line is okay. I'd like James Cook, don't get me wrong. I like Dalton Kincaid, don't get me wrong. And I like Joe Brady as an offensive coordinator. They're all decent. The receivers, Khalil Shakir, fantasy purposes, he's okay. Keon Coleman, fantasy purposes, he's okay. Football purposes, trying to win football games, I don't think they are good enough for this team. And then the defense, don't even get me started for the defense, because the defense is where it actually gets really concerning for me, because they are so much worse than they were last year. No more Tre'Davious White. You don't have Matt Milano already. He's out for the season, tore his bicep. You are losing, like, your best players from last year on your defense are no longer there.
Hoyer and Hyder gone.
What's that?
Hoyer and Hyder both gone, both safeties.
Hoyer. I was just about to say, DeMar Hamlin, who got a ton of hate last year for not being like, this dude came back from the near death and was was just bad at football. He's your starting free safety right now. Like, you don't have another option. I think their defense is going to get peppered. And then you think about the division they play in. You're playing Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle twice. They're going to torch your secondary. Like, you play Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers twice, not even mentioning Breece Hall that's going to run all over you. I don't see a way that they, between those 4 games, 2 against the Jets, 2 against the Dolphins, I think they go 1-3. And if you're going to promise me 1-3, I don't I mean, that's concerning to me. Looking at their schedule is difficult too. I mean, the out of conference games that they have, you have the Texans, you have the Ravens, you have the Lions, you have the Rams, you have the Niners. Like there's
Jeez,
5 games outside of your division that are difficult games.
that
Like,
first place schedule is brutal.
oh yeah, yeah. So
Holy
I think the Bills finished third.
Yeah, no, I mean that first place schedule is brutal. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying. Um, the only thing like with me is like so Keon Coleman for them to make the playoffs. Josh Allen is unbelievable. We know that. I
Yep.
really think they do push to make that like 6 or 7 seed. Um, it'll just depend on like health because I think a couple teams quarterbacks will get hurt. They kind of fall off, kind of like the Bengals last year. Like they
Yeah.
had 9 wins, but they did it with Jake Browning. But like if I'm looking at a guy that I actually think if not like a direct comp because obviously Keon Coleman's bigger, but I'm looking at Terry McLaurin's rookie year. He had 900 yards, 7 touchdowns. And I was looking at this earlier today. Because Terry was kind of like I don't know, like Terry McLaurin to me is just like a very solid NFL receiver. Like,
Yeah.
and like I was thinking of guys that actually like started their career off on the right foot with a strong rookie season. I
Mhm.
really think if Keon Coleman could have like that 800 to 1,000 yards with like 5, 6 touchdowns, that would be huge for them because Khalil Shakir isn't a big target share guy.
No.
And they just don't have anybody else. So if they could get that 800 to 1,000 yards, I think they can make the playoffs.
Yeah, but my thing is if he has 800 to 1,000, you'll say that Kincaid's in the same boat, right?
Yeah.
You're at 2,000 with your 2 best receivers, and you're gonna need him to throw for at least 4,000, given your defense, like to be good enough. And then the AFC competition too. I do think it depends, right? What do the Bengals and Ravens do? Because if the Bengals and Ravens are both 12, 13 win teams, okay, now you need between the Texans, Jaguars, Colts, you need somebody there to not make it, right? And you need the Jets and Dolphins for somebody to not make it. Like if you're the third best team in your division, you're not making it.
If you're the Bills, you're rooting like hell for the Chargers to suck.
Oh yeah, if the Chargers are even remotely good,
Yeah.
you're gonna be in trouble because they have pretty much 4 wins against the Raiders and Broncos.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I don't think that Harbaugh is losing. He's not going 2-2 against the Broncos and the Raiders this year.
No, I completely agree. So that was what 6 or 8 hot takes there. Some of them were mildly hot, some of them were a little bit warmer than the others. But we are 2 weeks away, so here we're approaching the week of nothing. But realistically, we're a week and a half away because this is Monday. We have a week and a half, and then we have Thursday night football. We have Friday night football. We have college football on Saturday, and we have opening day of NFL on Sunday. So what a weekend we have in about a week and a half. We have a good 4-day stretch there.
We've been I'm not gonna lie, it has felt like forever.
Oh yeah,
Like way longer than usual.
yeah. I completely agree. Next week's video is to be determined yet. Maybe we'll do some Heisman projections and college football playoff predictions. Maybe we'll do something else. I don't know yet. We're still debating there. If you guys have any preferences, drop in the comments below. But other than that, this has been the Sports Geeks podcast. They play, we talk. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.